Hello, your real estate expert Lance Moore, and we're going over how to sell a house. So today I'm going to talk about the third P, and that's price. So alright, price. This is very difficult for most people because I know, and we've already talked about, it's the number one mistake sellers make. They choose the agent based off of the price they say. So I could take a long time in this video, but I'm not. I'm going to try to make it short and go over some things you need to know when it comes to pricing a home. Now, I remember years ago when I got into real estate agent, I was really excited coming out of lending, and I knew a lot about appraisals because when you're a lender, you have to look at appraisals all the time. I was talking to appraisers all the time, and I was really excited because I thought, oh, this is great. They're really going to give me some in-depth training on how to properly price a home. And what I learned is not only do they not give agents in-depth training, they give them zero training. And I mean zero training. It's unbelievable. I figured everybody would be taught how to do a proper market analysis and a proper appraisal. I go to find out that they never teach that. Every blue moon, a real estate company may bring in an appraiser to go over this, but then no one shows up. It's unbelievable. One of the most important things, and they don't show up. But anyhow, so I'm going to give you some tips. And a lot of this comes from when I was a lender, certainly not a real estate agent. Now, I learned as a real estate agent what buyers want, what sellers want, etc. But we're getting to the nuts and bolts here. So what I'm going to talk about is your standard tract home. And the reason is because if you're in a rural area or if you're in a higher end luxury home, those are just completely different animals. Okay, so we're going to talk about where probably 80% of the people, 90% of the people, at least in our market, are, and that's in your tract developments, or more in city developments, if you will. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to want the agent, hopefully they do this right, because you're going to want to take your subject property. Let's just say you own a home. Let's just say it was built in 2005, and it's 2,000 square feet. And you're going to try to pull comparables. So the first thing the agent's going to do is they're going to go in your subdivision, assuming it's a big enough subdivision. Now, if it's not a real big subdivision or doesn't have enough active or sold homes in there, then you're going to want to get a comparable subdivision. But let's just say it's a good subdivision with plenty of sales that have been going on for the past 6 months. They're going to want to go plus or minus about 10 to 15% because it needs to be a comparable home. If you take a home that's substantially smaller than yours, the price per square foot is going to be a lot higher. If you take a home that's substantially larger than yours, the price per square foot is going to be a lot lower. So you want to use a comparable one, and then you want to use comparable years. So you might go, depending on how many you're looking at, and what's available, you might want to go 5 years up and down. So maybe 2000 to 2010. If not enough homes came up, sold, you have to have at least 3 solds. But if at least 3 solds didn't come up, then maybe you want to go 8 years or 10 years. And you just keep on going out. Now, if there's one that's not right in your subdivision, if you need more, then you just need to keep on expanding the criteria. Now, what tends to get hard for a lot of homeowners and even real estate agents that don't know the market very well is looking at different homes and comparing them. Because if you live in a home that's built very nice, let's say like a Mercedes-Benz, and then there's other homes in the neighborhood that might be not so nice. Maybe they're just starter homes. Not that a Kia car is a bad car, but it's a starter car. Well, you can't compare the higher end home with the one that's more of a volume type of home. You need to really look at them and compare an apple with an apple. You want to try to compare the quality level of the homes together. You want to compare the year built. You want to compare the size. You want to compare the finish out, because maybe the homes were built in the 70s. You can't compare one that hasn't had any updates with the home that's been completely renovated or has updates. So you want to just make sure the homes are comparable. You never really want to use a price per square foot. I know a lot of agents do, but there's just so many different variables to be using price per square foot. You probably can on a condominium or a townhome or something like that, but single family is going to be a lot harder. So you really want to get the price. And homes don't have a specific price, like a loaf of bread or maybe a pair of shoes. They have a price range. So when I go out to sellers, they might say, well, what do you think my home's worth? And I'll say, well, your home has a price range right here based off of the market analysis. We look at the active homes because that's the competition. We then go in and we'll look at the pending homes, the homes that have contracts, just to see what people are doing. But a buyer won't look at those, an appraiser won't look at those. And then we want to look at homes that have sold already. Now, depending on where you're at, you're not really going to be comparing, if yours is a traditional sale, you're not going to be comparing yours with a short sale or a bank owned. You want to, again, keep it comparable. So you want to look at them, and you might have a value range, and I'll tell people, well, your value range is 170, maybe, or let's say 250 to 275. 275 meaning it looks just phenomenal, and 250 means it looks just good. It's a nice home. So that's the range. So you're going to want to keep it within that value range. Now, obviously, depending on the presentation of your home, depending on the promotion of your home, is going to tell you where you're going to sell it for. Because at the end of the day, price is the common denominator. If you don't do a good presentation, you're just going to have to adjust the price. If you hire a realtor and they don't properly promote your home, or even promote it at all for that matter, and they don't market it, well, you're going to have to take a lower price. So price is always the common denominator, but what you want to do is you want to spend time. I always tell sellers when we're going out, what we might want to do is we might want to take a look. Like if they're talking to me today and then we list their home 2 weeks from now, I'm always going to pull up the market right before we list it. And then I'll say, let's go in and look at your competition and let's see where they're at. Because maybe someone has the home and it's a really, really low price, but you might just have to concede the home's selling. Okay, so let me go into something else that's very, very important when selling a home and choosing the price. So I had a home I was looking at with a buyer the other day, and they had the home listed at $252,000. Now that's a horrible, horrible listing price. And the reason is because when buyers purchase in increments. And most buyers, when they're looking at a home of $252,000, they're probably just going up to $260,000 or $275,000. And that seller is missing so many buyers just because they improperly priced their home. And they're probably going to lose anywhere from 30 to 50% of all the buyers out there because they just priced it at a poor price range. And you've seen this, 252, 202, 305, these ridiculous price range. There's a reason why companies put stuff on products, $99.95, $199.95. They put this stuff because it works. Don't buck the system. So in that home, what happened, we looked at it at $252,000, then we walked in after it didn't sell at $247,000. I call the listing agent, he's like, we have all kinds of activity on it because they lowered it below $250,000. So a lot more buyers came out because it opened it up to probably 40, 50% more buyers. Well, I'm thinking, duh, of course you did. So I look at the buyer and I said, the beauty about this is the listing agent and the seller are giving you $3,000 free. And the buyer's like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, think about it. Every buyer looking at this home is going up to $250,000, right? And he said, well, yeah. And I said, yeah, but they've already priced it at $247,000. So they basically negotiated $3,000 for you. And he's like, wow, you're right. So you have to be really, really careful about pricing. And it's very important for the agent to really understand the price increments sellers should price at because of what buyers are looking at. Example, people don't come into my office and say, I want to buy a home from 150 to 190,000. They go right to 200. Or they don't say, I want to buy a home from, say 200,000 to 235,000. They're just going to 240 or 250. So you have to be very careful on where you price the home. And this should be a good indicator on what real estate agent you hire. Because if the agent doesn't understand how buyers think and how pricing increments work, they're probably going to cost you money. So I hope this pricing helped you. If you have any questions, please contact me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like this video, please share and give me a thumbs up. Have a wonderful day, and I wish you the best of luck.